Welcome back to another episode of A Pilot's Life here with Mustafa, the Flying Moose. We are flying with Pilot's Life version 2. We're still as a CRJ pilot flying for Endeavor, and we are in Norfolk at the moment. We have one more leg back up to LaGuardia, and then one more rotation, I believe, to Buffalo. And then that will end our current route with the CRJ. We're going to be putting in some applications for an upgrade to some bigger and better airlines, allow us to fly some bigger things. I'm hoping for something I can use the MD-80 with because I really like that plane. Even though I know no one really flies it anymore, I don't care. I fly it. Anyway, that's all neither here nor there. I am also trying a new sound pack today with the CRJ from FT Sim Plus, if you're familiar with them. They do a lot of sound packs for different aircraft, and for very, very low price of subscribing via Patreon for around $2 to $5 a month, and you have access to all kinds of sounds. I've been using the upgraded sounds for the MD-80 from them. They've been absolutely a joy to fly with, and I'm really looking forward to trying out the sound pack today for the CRJ and see if that adds a little bit of extra kick and life into the plane. So, all that said, we need to go ahead and get situated here for our flight. So first things first, I'm going to have a look over here at the flight plan here and make sure we're all good to go. Once I get the right screen up here, there we go. All right, so this is Sim Toolkit Pro. It's what I use for managing my flight documents and things once I've done the flight planning. Flight planning is done through Simbrief, and it was taken care of today that way and imported into Sim Toolkit Pro. We're going to be at flight level 270. This is, by the way, this is the Delta operational flight plan layout. There's a number of layouts on Simbrief. Basically, you know, you can pick the one your airline you're flying for uses if it's available. They have a number of them. The Lido is kind of the default, which doesn't actually, it's not a real flight plan format from what I found out. It's actually just kind of like an amalgamation of Simbrief putting together a whole bunch of different ones, just kind of create a default one, which is interesting. And so that works too. I just really like the way Delta's is laid out. I started using it at one point as trying it for something, and I've really gotten used to it and really like it. So I don't care. It doesn't matter what airline I'm flying for. I use Delta's OFP format, and so I would encourage you to find one that works and one that is easy for you to interact with, to use. But this is Delta's. So you can see here we're flying. Here's our route right here from Norfolk up to LaGuardia. And we're flying at 270 today. We've got winds aloft 030 at 5 averaging, IC deviation of plus 15. It's kind of warm out there. Estimated time on route today is about 57 minutes, 341 nautical miles, and I don't know what gate this is. It's just a random gate. We got 59 passengers on board today, 3,445 pounds of cargo. That is pretty much mostly bags. Might include a little bit of mail, who knows. But yeah, mostly passenger bags. Block fuel required 8,992. I think I'm just going to call that $9,000, and reserve fuel of 3764, and then trip fuel 3747. 500 pounds for taxi. Alternate today is Boston, and reserve fuel, final reserve fuel 1387, and we've got some contingency fuel 981. Weather's pretty good. I've already looked at the weather en route. No issues, no significant weather to be aware of. There's some rain stuff kind of around, but it's outside of the New York airspace, so I don't think we're going to encounter anything like that. We got some white fluffies around today, but nothing to write home about. Should be pretty nice and smooth sailing on up to LaGuardia. So all that said, let's go ahead and take the tablet back off the screen. Let's go ahead and hop in the flight deck and see if we can't boot this bad boy up, shall we? And one thing I almost forgot to do, I need to make sure FSU-IPC is running. Why does my mouse feel funny? That's annoying. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Sorry. Should have done that already. Oh, I'm also going to do this too. This is something I've been playing around with recently. We're going to start bringing this to the videos. This flight control replay allows us to do replays of the sim. It works quite well, and I enjoy using it. So It's not free, it is cost, but I think it seems to work with the payware aircraft very well, and that's my biggest thing, because that's what I use. And some of the free ones don't play nice necessarily, or as nice as I would like, and so that's why. So there's FSU IPC coming alive. I think I might need that for a pilot's life. Here is a pilot's life. You can see us logged in here. We're in flight stage pre-flight at the moment, and I believe it just connects automatically. Yeah, we don't have to do anything. So yeah, everything's connected. Perfect. That's what I want to see. I don't know why we're on the EU server, but whatever. Maybe that's the only server. We're very much in the United States. Okay, so anyway, that's all ready to go. That's going to run in the background. We're just going to leave that be, leave that alone. And let's get the aircraft fired up, and then we'll fire up PACX, which is the passenger tool, and we'll get that going and go from there. So first things first, I am using, by the way, I'm using a checklist today that I haven't used in the past. I'm going to see how it works. It looks like there's a lot of stuff on here that's kind of superfluous, and so I'm going to kind of skip around on some things in the checklist, and I may have to rebuild to suit my needs, but that's fine. All right, battery master, coming on. And we're going to go nav lights on. We have external power, I believe. I connected that. Where do I see the external? Oh, available. There we go. Ooh, I already hear the new sound. Sounds cool. Ah. Alright. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Alright, so once we've got the external power connected, the aircraft's going to boot. Screens are coming online. We're just going to make our way around the panel, and then we're going to do this safety checklist before we start boarding the passengers. So AC is set. All the generators are in their auto position. I still don't understand why this doesn't want to test for me. There's a way to do it. I don't know what it is, but even in the manual for Aerosoft, it says you're supposed to be able to do that, but it's never worked for me. So we're just going to assume that it works, or that we have no fire detection, and that's beautiful. We don't need the boost pumps yet. The bleed air is normal. That's all fine. The ISOs can be closed. Bleed air valves to auto. That's all fine. Hydraulic 3A pumps. Typically, we put those on. If I can do it. There we go. Cabin pressure, we're not going to mess with this yet. Air conditioning is being pumped in from outside at the moment. We'll get this on when we have the APU, so we're going to use that for the time being. Cargo, that's fine. Anti-ice, windshield, I do want that into low. That's the window heats. Probes are going to be off for the time being. Dome light, we can turn it on. There's not really a reason to it. It's the middle of the day, who cares? Don't need the standby compass lights. We're going to make sure the no smoking sign is on, and the seatbelt light's going to be off for right now while we figure out the fueling situation. Emergency lights need to go to arm, though. So that is all taken care of. That is already in the arm set. That's the emergency locator transmitter. Don't want to set that off unnecessarily. That's the word I'm looking for. And let's see here. Nose wheel steering is off. Floor lights, don't really need it. We will turn the integrated lighting up because that looks fancy. Nav source, that's on FMS, that's good. Clock is okay. I'm gonna kill those lights for the moment. I think we can do there we go, stall and stick shaker, you can see that. Both of them, that's a good test. We can also do the EGPWS test, the ground proximity. Take care of that.
Wind shear. Terrain. In up.
Terrain. Oh, probably because we don't have the IRS on that.
Terrain.
In op, or it's just in op on this plane. That could be too. All right, moving our way down the panel. The gear is down. We're still showing green lights on the gear. That's good. All that's fine. The spoilers are full forward. The flaps are up. Throttles are idle and cut off for the fuel. I'm gonna move you out of the way. And we're going to turn on the comm right there. We're going to set these guys to nav. Parking brake is set at the moment. The ADG is stowed.
100.
And everything else looks pretty hunky-dory. We can go through and check some of these pages here and make sure... Let's see, let's check our electrical here.
Caution.
These
Terrain.
pop out somehow now,
Caution.
I thought.
Terrain.
I don't know
Terrain.
how
Terrain.
though.
Pull up.
It's like an alt or something?
Caution.
I don't know.
Obstacle.
Doesn't matter.
Caution.
Oh, this isn't electrical. This is the environmental cabin stuff. So that's all being supplied from outside, so it's not really effective right now. Hydraulics. We can see the 3A system is powered right now. We got 3,000 psi, but hydraulic quantities, really 45%. Okay, that doesn't surprise me though. But you don't really need much, from what I understand. In fact, the Mad Dog, you have like 4.5 quarts is a minimum, and it's like got 15. Like, holy crap! You can really drag that down. There's the electrical page. And what I want to see here is we've got the volts, 114, 400 hertz, roughly speaking. I was thinking this would give me a battery indication, but it doesn't. So, okay. Fuel, we haven't done our fueling yet, but there's the fuel page. Flight controls, not going to mess anything there at the moment. That's anti-ice. Doors are open right now for the passenger and the cargo. That's all set and everything's normal there, so we're just going to actually put that back on stat for that. Okay, so I think that's all good. If I go through the safety check here real quick, again, some of these things are going to be stuff that's not really simulated, and that's okay. The circuit breakers are closed. They're simulated, so we're just going to assume they are. Nose wheel steering switch is off. Hydraulic pumps are off except for 3A. Landing gear lever is down. Flight spoiler is 0. The slats and flap lever is up. Radar is off, not simulated anyway. We're waiting for Sim Update 10 before we can get that stuff. ADG manual release is stowed. The emergency flap switch is in normal. That is over here, I believe, yeah. Forgot about the emergency flap switch. You never know, we might need the emergency flaps. Where is that? Is that down here too? Oh, it is, yeah, normal. Haven't flown this in a while. When you guys are seeing these come out on YouTube, it's going to look like I've been flying this like every day, and it's like, nope, record these over quite a long time. Let's see, battery master switch is on. APU, AC electrics, we're on external power at the moment. That's as required. The IRSs are set to nav. Emergency equipment, it's checked, it's stowed. There's an axe, there's a fire extinguisher. We're safe from lumberjacks and fire. Gear safety pins on board. Airplane documents, sure. Hydraulic 3A pump as required. That's what that one is. And so why is that? See, okay, who made this? Who made this checklist? Why would you put the hydraulic pumps up here, number 3, and then number 16 is hydraulic 3A pump as required? Those should be together or all on one line. FMS initialization is. Well, actually, we're not quite complete. Let's finish initializing the FMS here. I think we're on the current air rack. It looks like 14 July, 11 August. Yes, today is the 24th of July in my time. We're going to go position a knit, and we are at KORF, what is Norfolk, and we're going to set our position here using one of the GPSs into there. There we go. Now it is initialized. It will finalize and do its thing, and that's all good. Okay, so all that being done, we can now load the passengers. I think I have another. There we go. I'm trying to remember which thing does what. So let's get PACX on here. And before I do that, it would help to make sure we actually have our loadout here done. So we have 59 passengers today. I'm just going to bump that up to there. Cargo is, what did I say, 3545. So what I typically am going to do there is I'm going to do, let's do 20, I could put 15. If we do I can only do a 1300 here. So let's do 1,000 here. Let's do that. Let's go 1,000. And then that leaves 2545. And actually, let's do, I got a better idea. Let's do 1,045. And then in here, we can do the remaining 2,500. Oops. 2500, enter, there we go. See, our stuff is nice and in the middle of the brackets. That's nice, that's what we want to see. Fuel 8992, I said I was going to round that to 9, so let's do that. 9,000, enter. And that is good to go. And I think that's ready to go. Okay, so set payload in simulator. And we're going to hit it one more time, and that puts it where it should be. Okay, so now we're good. And we're showing zero fuel weight of 6209, and I'm showing... Why am I showing a zero fuel weight of 57582? How did that happen? How did we get that so wrong? Oh, because I used the wrong profile in my... Okay. Gotcha. That's fine. We're going to go with these numbers. Those numbers are going to be a little bit off, and I think it's going to be okay. It's a short flight. If we get lost, we'll just land at Philadelphia or something. That's what happens when you don't use the right profile. Alright, we're going to be flap safe. The runway condition is dry, so I'm going to set all the bugs while we're here. V1 134, 134, 142 for V2, and then V2 plus 10, 152. And we got a takeoff trim of 6.8. Okay, now, I can finally launch PACX. And we get that going. Or so I think. It's booting. You can't see it happening right now, but it's booting. Booting. There we go. Put this over here so you think I'm doing something. Let's see. We are flying with Primrode. We are Endeavor at the moment. Not for much longer, hopefully. We're going to make this 33 because we got a more realistic time, although I don't think it takes nearly as long on these aircraft, but that's okay. Next, Wi-Fi equip. We don't have IFE, though, because we're not very fancy. I think I want that one. I know we're not flying for Alaska, but it's the same seat map, I believe. So we're flying, what did I say, 59? Next, definitely not meals. We're going to be lucky to serve drinks and snacks. Alright, start. Okay, they are boarding. That is happening. And we can now start to set up the cockpit computer. Right, so we're going from KORF to KLGA. Yeah, got crap in my throat. Alright, so departure arrival. Departure. I don't think we have a SID, it's just HPW, yeah, so we do need to figure out though what runway we want to expect here. And looking at the current, well, it's not current technically, although it's the latest I have. Oh, there it is. Latest METAR just came out 7 minutes ago. 190 at 13, gusting 19 here in Norfolk. So if we look at these, the most applicable runway for that would probably be runway 23, or even 14, but probably 23. What I don't know, though, because I'm not familiar with Norfolk, and it was a while since I flew in here last, is I'm going to look at the airport chart and see if one of those is more advantageous than the other for obvious reasons. And, oh, yeah. Yeah, 23 is the way to go. Let me show you. Yeah, I mean, it was CRJ. We probably can deal with 48, 76, but that's a tiny runway. This is the big one. So, yeah, 23 makes more sense, and it's more closely aligned anyway with 190, so that's fine. So, it'll be a taxi out Charlie all the way up for 23. Got 9,000 feet of runway. Nice and big today. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so we're going to say runway 23 for departure. And we're going to execute that. We're going to go back to our flight plan. And now, in the 2 here, I believe we go ahead and start typing our planned route. HPW is our first waypoint. HPW. Right there. And did it just move pages because it wanted to? What was that? Yes, okay. Just want to make sure I understand what's happening. HPW TAPPA, TAPA. TAPPA, tapa it in, and then PXT, which is Patuxent Naval Air Station, I believe. I don't know, this is the actual the VOR, or actually it's probably a Vortex. It's a military thing, but PXT. And then we're doing the KORF into LaGuardia. So we're going to go ahead and execute that so far. And I do that on this one because I find things like to go awry on this machine. So I kind of execute every so often. I won't usually do that on other ones. Arrival, we're doing the KORF and off of PXT. There we go. And we can check the weather into LaGuardia to see what we can expect. As of this moment, the METAR is showing 220 at 12, gusting 17. Lots of with the gusting today, my goodness. So that's convenient because look at that, we've got a 2.2. So we'll plan ILS 2.2 right there. Vectors around for that. Execute that, and we'll go back to the flight plan. Just page through that. We got lots of discontinuities, so we're going to go into legs and fix all these. So I don't know why we have discontinuity after TAPA. That should just be a direct to, but it's probably because it added the arrival. So that's a simple thing to clean up. We just go. Actually, no, we don't do that. No, we don't do. Oh, maybe we do. No, we don't. Yeah, we do that. There we go. Now we'll execute that. We go next page, all the way to. There's Robbinsville, and then we have a transition here to Yeoman. So. We're going to take a look real quick over at the chart for LaGuardia and just see if we can make heads and tails out of what it's trying to do to us. So KORF is this guy right here, long way all the way up, comes and ends at Proud. And but we're going to be landing on runway 22, which is, quite frankly, the opposite of direction of where this is. This is trying to put us in on runway 4. So if we go up to 22, we can see we're kind of coming the way, and so this is going to be a vectors thing. So what we'll probably do is I'm just going to leave the discontinuity because this is Yeoman. It's right in the direct. What we're really gonna probably end up doing is just flying straight over the field at a nice high altitude of like 6,000 or something, because 3,000 at Yeoman, and then once we pass the field, we'll probably split off to do a kind of like a procedure turn around here. Just check and see if there's anything better we should be doing. No, it's all the same stuff. So these are all just the RNAVs, which we're not going to worry about. So, yeah. Alright, so we'll leave the discontinuity. That's fine. That is fine. Alright, so that is all done. We're going to go back now to index and not pausing it. Flight plan, Perfinet. There we go. That's what I want. And we need to put in our weights here. So we're going to do, I think today, because it's funny. Well, yeah, let's just do this. Alright, so it's 59 passengers there. Cargo was 3545. Boom. Cruise altitude is 27,000. Fuel is 9,000. There we go. And that gives us zero fuel weight, 6209. And so that jives with what we have on the calculation. So that's what's important. Alright, so let's execute that. We'll go to VNAV setup. There's not really much to do here because we're fine with this. 250 above 10,000. Transition to altitude 18,000. And go back to Perfinet. Nothing to do. But I do want to go to MFD menu and we're going to turn on the VNAV. Not to use VNAV per se, but this allows us to get a top of descent marker. We're going to calculate that ourselves in flight, but it's good to have the help as well. So we're going to do that and then go to the legs page, and we are all set up, ready to go. And it has already done our V-speeds for us, so that is nice. And we can check and see how we're doing on the boarding time.
Are we almost done boarding back there?
2 minutes.
We're still boarding. Let us know if you need anything.
Alright, so with 2 minutes left, we're going to start the APU. So let's go ahead and go push the power and fuel button here. That's going to open the little APU door in the back of the plane. I'm curious to see what the APU sounds like when I start this thing. And now we do start-stop on the APU. While the APU is firing up, let's go ahead and figure out our pushback. We're going to 22, so we're going to want to go this way. There we go. APU is firing. Oh, I don't really hear any. I don't really hear the APU at all. Guess they didn't change that one. APU's not really changed. That's fine. Alright, whatever. Whatever. Alright, so we have the APU available light there. That's what I'm going to do. Back away from this. We're going to disconnect from the power there. What's confusing is they both say available now. I believe the APU is on bus, and we can check that by going to electrical page here. That's fuel. Electrical page. And we can take a look at what is... yeah, C00 off the external AC. We've got the APU gen now, 12 kilovolts, 115 volt, and, or sorry, kVA, not kilovolts, kilovolt amps. But that's a measure of power. Is off the gen. So okay, so we are disconnected there. Clear to disconnect the external power cord. So we're going to do that, and we're going to disconnect the air as well. And now we can go over here. Oh, don't take that attitude with me. We can go ahead and turn the air packs on. The recirc can go on, and the air cargo, aft cargo area can go on as well. So that's all good. They're boarded, so we're going to go seatbelts on. Hit the little button for that. That's good. I'm going to turn the beacon on because we're about to move. We do not have any ATC for us at the moment. It's just Atlanta, Jacksonville, Center, and looks like Montcan. So Montcan, however you say it. I'm in Canada. Doesn't matter. And we're not in any of their jurisdictions, so we're just going to do as we please. So let's go ahead and close the doors. We got to move the jetway first, actually, to do that. So jetway be gone, or however it is I get rid of you. We'll also go ahead and close up the baggage doors, and now we can close that. Brakes are on, so we can remove the chocks.
And welcome aboard flight
And that is closed, and all done.
Our flight time will be
We'll go over here to the doors page.
Note the cabin door is now closed.
And verify all green.
Ensure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten.
Alright, let's run through the before start check here. Passenger signs are on. Landing elevation, oh, you know, we didn't do that. Where are we? So we're here at Norfolk 26. It's about the same, actually, 26 and 21. This is where this gets annoying because I think we do this on the ECS page. Landing elevation, yeah. So let's go manual rate increase. What'd that do? That did nothing. Okay. Am I supposed to be... It's not even putting a number in there. Okay, I've done this before. Why is this not cooperating?
You didn't see my fix, Brian?
I did not see your face, Brian, whoever you are. I don't know what's going on there. Alright, well, it's probably going to be... Maybe we have to set that once... You know what? I wonder if we can't do that until the engines are started. Although it's asking us to do it now, so... we're going to put a pause in that. The boost pumps.
You didn't see my pic I posted on Volanta?
What? I guess this is not...
No, let me take a look. Give me 1 sec.
So what happens when
I was away from the keyboard for a sec. Yeah, I was a little ways back, and the system was still a little bit off.
Alright, and then we need to get our altimeter setting. I didn't do that. I was bad. KORF.
'Very cool, I see it.
3004.
Awesome, man. Have a good flight.
Oh my god.
Hey, you too, thanks.
Okay. KU2. 3004. It's right there, and right there. Okay. 3004 set both sides. Perfect. Okay. FMS IRSs are set. Radios and nav aids are set for the time being. It's a real standard takeoff, so we're just going to do you know, FMS departure. Takeoff briefing, we kind of did that. We did at least for the taxi here. Let's do the rest of it because, you know, we should be good pilots set an example since we're going to try to be moving on later. Want to make sure we're doing our job right here. So we're over here at the gate. We're going to be pushing, and I just realized I set up my pushback wrong because I thought I was facing this way for some reason. So I got to change that. So I'm glad I'm doing this. We're going to push tail to the right. I've got a pushing tail to the left, which I mean it still kind of works, but it's stupid. We're going to taxi up Charlie over here to the end of Charlie. We got end of runway 23, 227 is the departure heading, and 9,000 feet of runway, plenty of space. We've got, we're not really doing a SID, although I think this is just the generic takeoff departure. And so it's basically it's straight out 227 vectors, and we're going to HPW, which is Hopewell right here. So we'll fly out here and then head on over that way. We don't have Wikes though. We're just going to go direct to Hopewell. 2,300 feet is our minimum safe altitude for this direction of flight, because we do have some low-level terrain over here. And that's the departure. It's pretty simple. So that's what we're going to do. On takeoff, if there's any problems, we'll stop after 80 knots. We'll only stop for catastrophic, like an engine fire or loss of an engine or loss of control. And after V1, we take it into the sky and do our best to bring her back to Earth somewhere, whether here or Norfolk or who knows where. All right. That is the before start check. And so let's go ahead and rejigger our pushback so it's correct. And then, yeah, so we want to go over here. There we go. Okay, we'll call for
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
All right, ground is standing by. Perfect. Power that on. I'm going to go ahead and set, while he's firing up here, we're going to set these to be roughly cruise altitude since we don't have any ATC. Let's plug that all the way up.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
All right, we are set to release. The beacon is already on, so we're good to move. When I find my brake.
Please release parking brake.
There it is.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
All right, ready for engine start. So we're going to go and the boost pumps are both on, so we're just going to go start on number 2. And we're watching the... Ooh. Okay, I do hear a difference in the engine sounds. That's kind of cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front of the aircraft for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is on, please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another.
Wait till the latch drops back down, then we can pull it all the way to idle. Otherwise, you risk pulling it back to off.
In the event that the seatbelt light is
So
not
something to
on,
be cautious
suggest
about.
that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected.
But that one is firing up nicely.
Please take a few moments to now locate one of the several emergency
Yeah, so we
exits
need to
on
go
this aircraft.
over
And
yonder.
some of your nearest exit may be behind you. In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate the aircraft,
Over
there is lighting on the
yonder.
floor that will guide you towards the exit. In the event that the cabin loses pressure, an oxygen mask will drop right in front of you. Start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your
Sounds
nose
like a
and mouth.
starter cut off to me. Yes, it is. Let's go start on number 1.
Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Leave your mask on until a member of the crew advises you to take it.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lower aircraft.
To do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Flip it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and
You may
buckle at the front.
disconnect.
pull the straps tight.
Roger. Good engine start. Clear to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Watch for that ITT
Holding
temperature.
position, waiting for the visual. Thank you and
Inner
goodbye.
turbine temperature. There it comes. We've got a light off on engine number 1.
Please make sure to exit the aircraft as soon as possible and leave your belongings. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight.
All of the hydraulics are going to come on now.
The smoke detectors located in
And
the laboratory
the
to be
pitot
prohibited by law.
heats,
All of this information and more can be found
probes
in the
as they call them here, are going to go on.
You
You can leave the window heats in low since it's a warm day.
Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Those lights are on. Flaps are going to come down to the 8 position. We're going to activate the thrust reversers in case we need them for rejected takeoff. And I don't remember what our trim was supposed to be. Let's find out real quick. 6.8. Check it right here. 6.8. Put away. 6.8 set. Perfect. Landing elevation 480. So now I bet I can mess with that. So let's do that. Yep, it is coming down. We basically need to set it down to almost 0. So it's like 20. Oh, not below 0. We're not going to Death Valley. That is, what is that, 60? That's a little high. I think it goes down by increments of 20. So if I do 3, nope, that's 0. Oh yes, I should have done 2. I'm an idiot. Was it 60? Increments of 3 gives me 0. Okay, so that is set. What's the... Oh yeah, we gotta arm these guys here real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Hit those guys. We also want to turn our transponder on. It is 2000. We just need to turn it on. We're on 122.8. That's working. And I didn't turn my integrated lights up here. I didn't want to do that. Alright, I think we are good there. Let's do after start checklist. Gens 1 and 2 are on auto. Bleed valves and packs are auto and on. Anti-ice not required. Probes are on. Electrics are checked. Rudder is checked. Actually, we're going to check our flight controls. That's the one thing I didn't do. That is right here. Let's go to 9 so we can see them all. Let's go left, right, forward, backward. Left rudder, right rudder. That's good. Nose wheel steering is going to come on now too. Back to that. Okay.
We're ready for departure.
Thank you. Rudder check, nose wheel steering is armed. Taxi check, flaps are indicating 8 and showing 8 there. Flight controls checked, trims are green and 6.8. Thrust reversers are armed. Flight instruments are all checked. FMS is set and brake temps are, we just did that, we did the flight controls, I think, right? Saw that? Brake temps? No. Where's the brake temps at? Show me the brake temps. It's usually wherever the gear is. But I don't know where that is. It's anti-ice. Oh, you know what? I feel like brake temps are... No. Are they on this page? Brake temp. There we go. Oh yeah, green, green, green. I knew I saw them somewhere. Alright, brake temps are good. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and release the brake. Taxi light on. And here we go. Oh yeah, I like these sounds, they're nice. Norfolk traffic, Endeavour 5444, taxiing runway 23 via Charlie, Norfolk.
Now, the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there's a reading light on the panel above you.
amazing how much better sounds just really add to the immersive nature of the sim. I mean, it's already a beautiful sim. The airplanes are already really cool, but when you've got those sounds going just to really seal the deal for you, it is really cool. It is really quite cool. Let's go ahead and turn off the APU. We do not need that now. So click that off. And we're going to make sure to check that again and kill the APU door before we get to the runway. Watch our taxi speed here. I don't want to get a speeding ticket. What's her name's? Pilot's Life penalizes you, I think, if you go over 30. Which should only be an issue if you're a Southwest pilot. Let's make sure our flight director is on there. Little some kind of a pond here right by the airport. It's pretty. It's pretty. Let's see what the sounds sound like outside the plane. Not much difference outside the plane. Well, instead of leave the plane, it starts to veer off to the side. But they do really, it sounds nice in the cockpit. It's very, you get that kind of like low rumble. The ILS hold bars there. All right, coming up. Pay no attention to the bushes or something that are some kind of geometric shape. Norfolk traffic, Endeavour 5444 CRJ, lining up, taking off runway 23, departure to the north, Norfolk. Alright, let's get our strobe on. Landing lights are all coming on now. Lights and strobes, fuel flow is good, ignition, anti-ice is fine. Flight attendant has been advised, transponder is on, radar not modeled, and the cast is clear. Here we go. Toga is set. And rotate. And positive climb, gear up. Alright, gears up, indicating closed. Go ahead and go nav. Let's go climb power. Norfolk traffic, Endeavour 5444, passing 3,700 for flight level 270, final call, Norfolk. We're going to intercept our course over here, flaps 1. flaps up. Continue to push the nose over a little bit. Let us accelerate up to 250 as we're coming into that course. Speed now. Now we can fly the flight director here. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Landing lights are coming off.
Gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder,
Engage the autopilot here. And we're going to bug this up to
onboard Wi-Fi. You will be required to
80.
use a small key to wish to access. We do offer complimentary flight thanks to our partners. Next to the Wi-Fi, you'll be able to access a wide range of free licenses.
And that is all set. And I was bad and didn't do it. Didn't close that APU door before takeoff like I said I was going to. Alright, climb check. Fuel flow is looking good. Bleeds and APU are well, the APU is now closed. It was off and now closed, and the bleeds are fine. Lights and passenger signs are off. Passenger signs are on until a little higher up. We'll usually do those after 20,000 feet. Thrust reversers, got to turn them off. And the cast is clear. Cast is our message window over here for those that are wondering why I keep saying the cast. Not Mama Cast, isn't the mamas and the papas or anything like that. Alright, there we are, up and away. It's a beautiful day here on the East Coast, coming out of Virginia. I think the weather's going to be nice in New York as well. I hope so, anyway. There's 15,000 feet. Now, when I checked earlier, New York approach was on, but I think it's specific for JFK, so I don't know that they're going to talk to us. At the moment, I don't see them on my list. I just see ground for Philadelphia and Dulles. And again, still just Atlanta, Jacksonville, and Montgomery Center online. Which is fine. It's fine. We can vector ourselves, thank you very much. Alright, we are coming up on transition altitude here, so we're going to go here. And I think I have to right-click it. There we go. Alright, 2992 is set, so we're going to set that here as well. Do that one manually. There we go. 2992 set both sides. Climbing up nicely. I think based on the way we're feeling here, once we pass 20,000, we'll release the passengers. Let them do any catering stuff they want to do if they're going to have time. I don't know if they will. what is my... There it is, 6 and 7. Little passenger views here, built in by Aerosoft and the CRJ. I think I'm gonna. I mean, obviously, I have to apply and see if they hire me for a pilot's life. So there's always a modicum of. I'd like to do this, but I don't know if I'll get it. Just like the real world. I am going to try to apply for Allegiant, I think. They have a very robust schedule, and at the same time, now I know they don't fly the MD-80 anymore, and nobody does, quite frankly, in pretty much all the world, a very rare exception. But they were a big operator of the MD-80, and there's a beautiful livery for it from Leonardo for the MD-80 as well, and I think that'd be cool. And it's, you know, a bit historic for me, because when they were operating the MD-80, their hub, the Allegiant, you may not know this, but Allegiant actually started as an airline in Fresno. Our former mayor is one of the founding members of Allegiant Airlines, and they started, their primary hub was Fresno. They launched with service from Fresno to Vegas, expanded to Reno and Portland and Long Beach and a whole bunch of other stuff, and unfortunately filed Chapter 11 like 2 years after they started operation. No, it was more than that. It was it was about 2 years, because they're officially up and running by 98. In 2000 they filed Chapter 11, citing the rising cost of fuel, of all things, and under the reorganization structure, one of the higher invested members, one of the investors, took control of the company and moved them to Vegas as their base of operations, and has since expanded ever since. And so they kind of went gangbusters for a while, and then of course they're still going. I've only flown on them once, and that was to Las Vegas from Fresno, but not on an MD-80. Their MD-80 fleet has been since retired, and the flight I flew was a 319 to Vegas, right, I think October before the pandemic. Let's see, this is 7. I have to make sure I hit the keys in a correct order, otherwise my views get all wonky for a moment. It's really obnoxious. Can't wait to have something like a chase plane for a Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, we're coming up on cruise altitude, and I did not really special my thunder seats. I was mean, but I'll do that now. Go to auto.
The flight crew has turned off the fastest seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you use your seatbelt fasten on unexpected.
Alright, this is our cruise today, 27,000 feet. Not very high, because we don't have a very long route. They tried to give me like 37 or 38,000 feet or something stupid. And I was like, you know what? By the time I get there, I'm going to be going right back down. We call that the ballistic shot. They feel like a ballistic missile. You go up and down. It's a big problem. Are you having fun here? Do you not know how to, like, find the course? Just weaving back and forth. Trying to put the passengers to sleep. Goodbye, passengers on the CRJ. We will find our flight path someday. Hilarious. Alright. Remembering now, we do not have auto throttle, so we do need to pull this back, because I'm seeing that barber pole get close. Descent checklist. Landing elevation is set. It's basically the same. Fuel is checked. We got 6,370 on board, so we're doing okay. 3764 is our bingo, so yeah, we're okay there. TCAS is on. Radar's not thing trained. I don't know that works. CAS is clear. Landing data is actually that's not set. We can do that real quick. So we go over here to our landing speeds, which is say set all. Looking at a VREF of 136, given our current weight. We're below max landing weight, so that's good. Power that off. So the landing data set, approach briefing. We have gone over the approach already and know what we're doing, so that is done. And here we go, going over the top. Let's go ahead and pull the power back. And we're going to go vertical speed. We have begun our descent. Descent checklist is complete. I'm trying to aim for right around 300 knots or so. A little bit lower in the descent. See right now our next one is Skippy coming up. It's the 190 restriction. There's the snowflake. You can see we're just a little bit above profile, but not much. I mean, just a hair, just a scotch, just a whisper. As our speed pulls up a little bit, we'll just continue to pull the power back. As we get lower too, that indicated speed is going to be a little tricky, and so we're going to be transitioning from about 300 to about 280 knots in the descent, and then obviously as we get close to 10,000 we'll transition to about 250 in the descent, 240. And still not showing anybody we care about as far as controlling. Toronto Center's coming to view, but that's not anywhere near where we are. Let's fly level 240. And we are passing Skippy right now, so our next restriction I believe is 17. So let's continue to bug down. Set. A little fast there. You gotta be careful on the speed because the speed will affect how accurate your descent profile is too. So you want to make sure you stay on top of that. In fact, so we're coming out of 20,000. We're going to transition more to about a 280 target. Pull the speed back a bit more, or the throttles back a bit more. There's 20,000 feet. Someone in text on Philadelphia traffic. which, I think this is Philly over here. Alright, we're below 20,000 feet, and we're going to go ahead and put on the passenger signs again.
The flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please adjust your seat fasten seatbelt.
And we're going over the next restriction here. That's Bessie. The next one is 13. Alright, 13,000 is set. That will be at Davies. Yeah, we just passed Bessie. And gotta trick it into thinking, because it's not changing, but it's yelling at us about transition altitude. So yeah, we have Edger, but then Davies is one of the restrictions of 13 or above, and we have 11 or above, and then Corey at 10. After Corey, we don't have anything more, but we have a little ways to go. That's for the hold. So I would say, because we're going to overfly LaGuardia, so I would say around Renew or Apple is where we'll start going down to maybe 6. And we'll just fly direct LaGuardia VOR. Which is essentially almost what Apple's going to do. And then over LaGuardia we'll peel off about a 25-30 degrees and descend down to 3 to swing around and intercept the localizer for runway 22. There's 16,000. So beautiful. Alright, past the 13, so we can go down to the 11. Make sure our vertical speed doesn't come out of that 1.8. And actually, based on where we are, I'm going to go ahead and bug it all the way down to 10. And we're going to slow to 250. So I want to make sure we don't bust the Corey at 10. There's 12,000. Just about to pass Brand, the outer above 11. we go. There's Brand. Now we got Corey, 10,000, and that's perfect because look at that. Now we're just hitting 11,000 right after we pass the Brand. There's 250 knots. We'll increase our speed a little bit here. That is beautiful. That is really well timed. For not having a true VNav and just doing that kind of myself, that's pretty dang good if I don't say so myself. Now we are going to need to add some speed here as we level out at 10, so just kind of watching how the airplane reacts. Countering with some thrust. This is where it is helpful that we're not being inundated with air traffic control commands because there is only us. Normally you'd have a second pilot in the cockpit to help. And there we go, we're past Corey. Okay, so now it's just kind of a straight shot here toward LaGuardia and ultimately Proud. So we got Tykes, Minx, Renew, Apple, and Proud. And we're just going to kind of hold at 10,000 this whole time here. And we're at 10,000, so let's go ahead and do the landing lights. And we can do our approach check too. Approach check altimeters are set 2992. The APU bleed is not required for us today, and the lights and passenger signs are set. The landing lights are on, and the passenger signs are on as well. Bug's been slowly creeping up back into 250 there, so I'm going to back just that hair of throttle off so we don't overspeed our restriction here. Just past Robbinsville, headed to Tykes. Well-known VOR on the outskirts of the New York area. Whether coming in or leaving, Robbinsville is very often a waypoint you'll see. It's always nice to be familiar with some of the common navigational aids for a larger area like this. So as we come down here, I'm going to do this in the legs page. So we have a discontinuity right here after Proud. I'm actually going to put in LGA right there as the VOR. And then we'll have a discontinuity after that, and that's fine. We're going to execute that. That way it will fly us directly over the field. Double checking again for any ATC that might be on the area, and I've got nothing. Here comes Minx. 130 degree radial off the Solberg VOR. This Corey 4 has got a lot of what look like RNAV points, but it's a non-RNAV star, so all these points are referenced to VORs off radials and distances. So in other words, to find Minx, what we would do is we'd fly outbound on the 54 degree radial from Robbinsville, and at 14.4 DME we should be crossing Minx, and we can corroborate that by also seeing that we're passing the 130 degree radial from Solberg at the same time, and so we can confirm that point. And that's a lot of work to do. We don't really need to do it because our system is doing it for us. But if you were flying Slant Whiskey or Slant Alpha in an aircraft that only had NDBs and VORs, then you could still use this route and still find Minx. But it would take a little bit more effort on your part. Just a tad. Alright, we're coming into the New York area here. This is Long Island. And there is Manhattan. I'm sorry, no, that's not Manhattan. It's up here. This is Manhattan. It looked funny from the angle I was at. I was like, that seems a bit wide for the... I think this here, I think the closer one is Ellis and then Liberty, I think. Let's get these mixed up. I think this is Staten Island, I think. I'm not perfect on my New York geography. Alright, we're coming up on Apple. Well, actually, we're coming up on Renew and then Apple. Oop, got some buildings starting to spawn in here. Yeah, that's a nice view of New York today. Look at this. This just looks awkwardly weird. I'm not sure what's going on there. Alright, you can start seeing the blinky lights of LaGuardia. So we're going to go ahead and start descending on down to about 6,000, I think. Here we go. Nice view of Lower Manhattan right here. I was wrong. Liberty's the, you can see the Statue of Liberty now. It's Liberty and then Ellis. That's what it is.
We have begun our final descent into New York. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any crash one final time. Please ensure trays, tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat cushion.
Cool shot.
Yeah, we can take the next person to the right. That's the for carbon active.
LaGuardia traffic, JetBlue 1517 crossing runway 422 for taxi for runway 13 LaGuardia.
3, huh? LaGuardia traffic, Endeavour 5444 CRJ is going to be crossing over the top of LaGuardia at about 6,000 feet to head out on a downwind for runway 22 LaGuardia. go. It's the Freedom Tower at the Brooklyn Bridge. Or is that the Brooklyn Bridge? Maybe that's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Kennedy traffic, down 337 is going to be crossing runway 31 right.
Alright, there, see, look at that. We're going right down the runway line. Look at that. That's runway 422. So as we go across, we're going to turn off.
LaGuardia traffic, JetBlue 1517 departing runway 13. Be following the LaGuardia 7 departure.
Alright, let's start our turn. And we'll descend now down to about 3,000. Heading outbound, and we're going to come swing around. Let's keep the speed kind of slow. No reason to go quickly here. And if we look at the approach for ILS 22 Greco, which is kind of the halfway point up the, actually that's the final approach fix, that's at 1900. So you know what, let's just do that. Let's go, well, as we're coming out on this, alright, let's swing it back parallel. We don't need to make a really long approach. So we can intercept right around the Greco. In fact, so we're going to keep going down toward 19. There we go. We can see the
Kennedy traffic, down 337, high hop and wait, 22 right.
swing around and intercept the localizer course. Go ahead and go flap 1. Alright, before landing check, passenger signs are on, thrust reversers armed. We're just waiting on the gear and the flaps. Flap 8. There's our runway, we're visual with it. LaGuardia traffic, Denver 5444, 5 mile final runway 22, LaGuardia. Notch your flaps, let's go gear down. pilots away. Flaps in, that's flaps 30. And flaps full. Lights are set. LaGuardia traffic, Endeavour 5444, short final, runway 22, LaGuardia. Checked.
4. Sync rate.
We're fine. Calm yourself.
2. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Come on. Oh, don't float like that. Oh, gosh. Gives me a VREF speed that's like way too high, apparently. Jeez. But thankfully we're small, so. Alright, thrust reversers away.
Gentlemen, welcome to New York. The local time is 7:70 p.m. and it's currently about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins.
LaGuardia traffic, Endeavour 5444, clear of all runways. Taxiing to the ramp via Bravo, LaGuardia. Alright, well, we made it down. It was very floaty. Tried not to drop it on the ground, but then they pull up a little bit and it just soared back into the air. And we're like 20 knots below VREF, so clearly VREF was not correct. Didn't it say 136 or something like that for VREF? What did I complain to about that? Yeah, 136. I don't think so. Lies. Alright, let's get the APU going here. We can also do the strobes can go off, the landing lights can go off. And I'll go ahead and hit the APU door there. Got a little bit of a taxi because we're parking's over on the other side, which is fun. We are 7 minutes early though, so that's good. It's a nice little fun approach into LaGuardia. Curious what it oh, there we go. Oh, minus 45 feet per minute. Alright, well, maybe it was worth it to float down the runway. Greaser. Alright, next one should be Foxtrot, and then we can follow Bravo around the curve. Actually, technically should get onto Alpha. But I don't care. Honey Badger don't care. I do like the sounds though for this. That's really nice. I do. The updated sounds are nice. I approve. The chitter chatter you hear in the background of passengers and stuff, that is FS Realistic, I believe, bringing in some of their stuff. That is not something you'll get from the sound pack from FT Sim. Alright, I think we can... Oh no, I turned it on already. We should also put our flaps up, I suppose. Probably like that sort of thing. We got to disarm our reversers. Don't need those anymore. After landing checks, APU is coming up. Transponder is still on because we're still taxiing. Flaps are coming up. Lights and strobes are off. The strobes and the landing lights are off. Beacon and nav is still on, obviously, as required. And the probes can come off. Nope. Yo, toe. Get to our gate, and then we'll check what our landing report got us from Pilot's Life. Again, we have one more turn, or sector, as they call it in the UK, I think, to Buffalo, I believe, and then I will do that, assuming, because I think I'm gonna apply for Allegiant today, and assuming if I don't get Allegiant in the near future, depending on what I have time next, I may fly that run, or I might just trade up to Allegiant. We're going to duck out to taxiway Alpha right here. Alright, flaps have come up completely now. Drone came out. This looks like a facade. I don't think I'd noticed that before, but this building does not look like it's more than like a foot thick. That's funny. Gate 98. there. Let's go ahead and put our parking brake on. And we do have the APU, so we're going to go ahead and shut that down. Beacon's coming off. And we'll go over here and we're going to open up the doors. Put the chocks in place. Connect the ground and the thing down. Let's call for the jetway. Here comes the jetway. Alright, I want to go check that out. Alright, look at this with me. Because this looks shady. Oh, I guess not. I saw this. It's still a very skinny building, but this, I was like, is this just like a Western facade of trying to make us think it's a thing? That's a little better, I guess. I can deal with that. Pilots Live, where are you at? Okay, so I think we're here. Yeah, flight stage post-flight. So we want to see flight report. That's what I want. Oh, look at that. All greens. That was like a perfect flight. Booyah. Man. I'm happy with that. Landing rate minus 46. Score 100%. The Legion, here I come. Nice. Yeah, we didn't get any demerits. No demerits. 100 out of 100. That's how I do. Alright, we're going to submit that. Yes, absolutely I want to submit that flight. Your flight has been submitted. Enhance. Alright, so it should take us to the next, yeah, the next run is to Buffalo, which we're not doing right now, but I'm just going to move that out of the way. Cool. Cool. Should we... Yeah, okay. Let's go back up on the flight deck here. Alright, so that is it for this episode of A Pilot's Life, and like I said, we have on this, for this airline, we may have 2 more flights left, or I may get hired away. We'll see. I'm going to put in the request and see what happens. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button to get and the bell if you want to get notified of when I post content. I don't post. I'm doing it a little bit more often with this series, but you know, I haven't been very posty on YouTube. Most of my content, just as a aside, is on Twitch. I do live streams on Twitch. Lately, it's been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The official schedule is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but Wednesday's been kind of as it allows, and it's been allowing for the most part. But we do a lot of live flight sim content there in the evenings and mornings on Saturdays. Saturdays tends to be a little bit more of a grab bag as far as whether it's flight sim, sometimes it's truck sim, sometimes it's been railroads online. But the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday streams are definitely flight sim dedicated for the most part. So I encourage you to come check that out. That's twitch.tv/Mustafa. There's a link down in the description below. And I'd love to see you over there. You don't need a subscription, or you don't need it doesn't cost anything to watch. I think you do need to set up an account, just like with YouTube if you want to chat. But beyond that, it's free. You can donate. You can subscribe for the subscriptions there are costing, but they mean different things. The equivalent of subscriptions on Twitch is the follow. And so that obviously doesn't cost you anything. The subscriptions do cost, so you get access to emotes and things like that. But again, not required to be part of the community and enjoy. We'd love to have you. Come check it out. I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy hanging out with those guys and getting to chat real time. So anyway, again, hit that like and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. And one of these days soon, hopefully, we'll be in the MD-80 flying for Legion. I hope. Fingers crossed. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.